Keeping your mind sharp Part 2. Factors that contribute to a dulling mind. Let's take a break from discussing diet and exercise to talk about the things that contribute to a dulling mind. If you want to avoid having those age-related memory loss moments, you can just work to avoid the things that will not keep your mind very sharp, or at least know how to deal with it if it happens to you. Smoking cigarettes is the leading cause of most cardiovascular illnesses. It's clear from the research that not smoking is one of the best things you can do for your health. If you do smoke now, consider finding a smoking cessation class to join, because that's the best way you can help your brain health right now. Poor diet. Eating a poor diet with lots of processed food, fat, salt, and sugar is the other factor most likely to affect your brain health. Outside of smoking, this is the next most important way to prevent issues with your brain health, not to mention your overall physical health. Bad posture. One issue that really affects people is chronic pain. Some forms of chronic pain are simply caused by bad posture over the years. The sooner you can ensure that you are using the right posture for living your daily life, the better. It might help to go to a couple sessions with a physical therapist who can check your posture and show you how to correct any issues. Being sedentary, as mentioned earlier, sitting for more than 4 hours a day is said to be worse than smoking. Having said that, you can improve your situation faster if you're only sedentary rather than a smoker and sedentary. Start small and make yourself get up and move around for 10 minutes every 90 minutes. Stress and anxiety. When you have a lot of stress and anxiety, your cortisol levels are usually much higher. These stress hormones play a significant role in cognitive decline. If you do have problems with stress and anxiety, you'll want to seek professional help with this to ensure you can move forward. Not sleeping enough, or too much, sleep is an essential component to your ability to heal yourself from within. Sleeping at least 8 hours a night is considered the best amount, but everyone is different. The way to find out what works for you is to try to go to bed at the same time most nights and sleep until you wake up without an alarm. However, if you do tend to sleep over 9 or 10 hours a night, and are still tired, you may want to get your thyroid checked. Medication. Some medications can mess with your brain in severe ways. A common medication for chronic pain is gabapentin, and it's well known that it dulls the mind. Some other drugs are also starting to be problems with patients exhibiting cognitive decline. If you're on meds and having memory problems or other issues with your brain health, talk to your doctor about going off those medications if possible. Illness. Any type of illness can affect your brain health and make you feel and act not as sharp as you'd like. However, being aware of the illnesses you have and how they might affect your brain health and your mind can give you information on how to combat the problems through supplementation, medication, and so forth, as needed. Drug use. While some studies are suggesting that cannabis use can improve the mind of elderly people, the research is still out. If you need to use cannabis, realize that it might, like any other drug, affect your memory or cognition. Alcohol use. While drinking alcohol in moderation is tied to improved cognition and health, overusing is not. Double check your serving sizes and don't get drunk if you're going to drink alcohol. If you are having issues, go ahead and stop. Isolation. One of the saddest things that happen to people when they get older is that sometimes they start to isolate themselves. If you find that you tend to spend a lot of time alone because you prefer it, that's fine. But you may want to schedule some time with others to avoid isolation, as this has been linked to the dulling of the mind due to the lack of mental stimulation that other people provide. Avoiding these factors that can contribute to a dulling mind is important to keep your mind sharp as you age. Consider what you'll do after you retire when your kids grow, and when you're older in terms of remaining social, eating right, moving, and being a contributing member of society. Get enough rest and relaxation. Earlier, we talked about how stress and anxiety can play a major role in mental decline. When you go to a psychiatrist, one of the first tests that they give you is a memory test. They will ask you to memorize 3 words. They tell you something like ball, train, and hat, and then at the end of your visit they'll want you to repeat those things to them. If you cannot remember, it shows them that you have too much stress in your life. One of the factors that contribute to this dulling of your mind is not getting enough sleep, having your body in fight or flight mode 24/7, and having too much stress hormone, cortisol, in your bloodstream. If you have a bigger belly than the rest of you and you can't sleep well comfortably, it's more than likely some of your issues are related. There are things you can do to get more rest and relax more to lower stress. Learn to meditate. Study after study is showing that meditation helps people relax, lowers blood pressure, and contributes to a good quality of life. If you don't like meditating, you can choose to pray instead. Studies show intense praying or meditating can relieve stress and improve brain function. Identify stressor. One way to reduce stress is to find out if the cause is something external. Hate your job? Dislike something at home? Having issues in your marriage? Kids are not behaving? Money problems? All these things lead to stress, which leads to lack of sleep, which leads to brain decline. Find ways to eliminate stressor. When you identify a stressor, if it's possible to eliminate it or change something about it to make it work for you, then make a plan to do that. For example, if you have a lousy time at work, start applying for other jobs or join a training program to help you get promoted. Get back to nature. Science has shown in many different studies that humans do better when they get out in nature every single day. Whether you look out the window at a magical view or walk barefoot in the park is up to you. However, there are also positive studies about grounding that lets you know that it is important to get out into nature as much as you can. Start a journal. For some people, reducing stress by writing in a journal is helpful. The type of journal you use depends on your personality. You may like to use a bullet journal, a gratitude journal, or something else entirely, such as a regular diary. It's up to you. If it helps you experience less stress, do it. Color or draw. Some people find it very helpful to take some time before going to bed to sit in the quiet and color or draw. There are even studies that show that doodling or coloring reduces blood pressure in patients with high blood pressure. Read. When it comes to reading, it's important to choose the right thing to read when you are stressed out and cannot get rest. Don't read anything that will upset you. Instead, read uplifting and positive information that helps you reduce stress. Create a nighttime ritual. To help you get more regular sleep, you want to set up a nighttime ritual that will help your mind accept that it's time for sleeping and resting. Stop eating a couple hours before bed, turn off screens, avoid caffeine and sugar, and keep your room cool and comfortable so you can sleep. If you are particularly anxious and stressed out, consider seeking professional help. Some types of anxiety are related to health. For example, someone with low iron can experience high anxiety and heart palpitations, so anytime you experience something like this, make an appointment with your healthcare provider to ensure that everything is going well health-wise.